I've got some very exciting things to share with you. I'm also joined by Kieran from one of our Irish medium schools who has been using the tools with Irish speech. So he is going to talk you through his experience of the tools and just to give you a bit of a case study, really. Right. Delving straight into it. So today's session, we are scheduled for a 4:15 finish. Now, I have been trying to keep to that, but they have been looking a little bit more like 4:30. So just be aware that we might run over slightly. Now, during the previous webinars, we have been muting participants. However, we've got a lovely small group, small select group of teachers. So we have enabled you to be able to unmute and ask questions as you go along. So if you're feeling brave enough and you want to put us on the spot, we do love being put on the spot, so don't feel guilty. You can unmute and ask a question live. Alternatively, if you want to, you can ask us in the chat. Now we have left that open, so you can direct those to Just2easy support, please. Sophie's in the background. She'll be able to answer any questions. We will also do a Q&A session at the end, so you can save those to the end if you want to. The sessions are going to be recorded. This one in particular is going to be recorded. So they're going to be made available on our website, just2easy.com/webinars. And just to show, oh, I've taken that slide out. So just to show you, see, 2K, I think it's that one. Maybe it's not. Let's go. There we go. So if you direct to the webinars page, we've got recordings there. We are doing a number of other webinars as well, key stage specific ones. We've done foundation stage. I did this special needs webinar last night, so that recording will hopefully be up by tomorrow afternoon. We've got key stage 1 and key stage 2 for next week as well, so those will be available to use. So if you do need to sneak away as well before the end of the session, you'll be able to catch up on this webinar later. So in today's session, we're going to have a quick look and discussion about what is Just2easy, how your school can access Just2easy. We're going to hear from Kieran in our case study school. Danny's going to give you a bit of information about the brand new Irish medium specific tools, and they are really exciting. I think you'll be quite impressed by those. I'm going to hopefully have enough time to showcase at least 1 or 2 of our tools and certain activities that you can do with your students. And then we're going to offer you a Q&A session and signpost to you about where you can access further support. So what is Just2easy? It's a learning platform that is specifically designed for education. Unlike some of the other tools that are being used in schools and have been used during the remote learning that were sort of designed for business and shoehorned into education, these ones are designed specifically for learners and specifically for teachers. As well as that, we offer loads of different apps and tools, including accessibility tools. So you really can personalize the learning environment for your students. There's a huge amount of accessibility tools, things like text-to-speech, word lists. We've got speech-to-text coming soon, and we're going to showcase those to you later. So these are some of the tools that we have to offer. They cover all elements of the curriculum, not just the Using ICT curriculum. So we've got things like J2Webby that allows you to blog with your students at the click of a button. We've got J2 Data, so that enables students to create charts and data and manage data. So that sort of ticks off your maths as well as your Using ICT curriculum targets. We've got things like JIT, which are brilliant for your foundation stage and key stage 1. TT Blast, which is your games-based learning for your spelling and your times tables. So we've got a little bit of everything for everyone. Now, in terms of accessing Just2easy, it can be accessed using any Wi-Fi connected device. So that means you can access Just2easy using a phone or a tablet or a laptop. We've even had Xboxes and PS5s used by students during the recent school closures. It's built around a cloud-based storage area called My Files. So that's much like your Google Drive or OneDrive. So it's a central storage area. Now, you can drag in an unlimited amount of files because there is unlimited storage. And as well as that, the file size is unlimited. So you can drag in the biggest files that you possibly have, and you can drag them into Just2easy and it can be stored there. So it's brilliant if you've got maybe things like videos or particularly large files that you use in school. The files are really easy to share and collaborate with other users. So you might have students or colleagues. You can create your own teaching groups and classes, or as a whole school. So you have a lot of options in terms of sharing and collaboration, which I know is a big part of your ICT curriculum. So accessing with C2K, we are now available through C2K. We're very, very excited about this. And it can be accessed via My School. Now, I don't have a login, so I'm kind of repeating this ad verbatim. Within My School, via the Launch panel, View All, Online Learning. So you can see there's the Online Learning tab within My School, and there is Just2easy. Now, on a student interface, it is here. So it looks like this icon here. So students can access that. We are also available through the Just2easy sign-in page. So if you navigate to j2e.com, and your students can access that there. So I'm going to sign out of here, which I should have done beforehand. So you will have a button here, the EA button. So you and your students could, if you want to, go to j2e.com, click on this button, use your C2K login, and that will take you directly into Just2easy without having to go via C2K My School. So it's entirely up to you which direction you sort of enter the site from. Right, that's enough from me for now. So I'm going to pass over to Kieran, who has very kindly said that he will like to present a little bit of a case study about what he's been doing with his school and how useful he found the tool. So we're just going to do a bit of a swap now, Kieran, if you're ready.
Okay, thanks very much, Nikki. Can you hear me okay there?
I can, perfect.
Perfect.
Great stuff. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to come and just share what we kind of experienced last year when we were using the trial version of Just2easy. I will share my screen now and hopefully you'll be able to see it okay. I've just prepared a couple of notes on basically how we used it at Bunscoil Vanaborha last year. Hopefully you can all see this okay. So Marjarm, Neil Gaeilge ach Chimra bog Gaeilge Arcajamar dosage mit Shaw and Nuri, Faki Shiv Gajirak, suppose Gajiglums attachment Steve Sakieto she's Jamar Iron to Aaron Rudd. So Mar Dirch, Nikki doing and Shin a couple of seconds of him. Jan Tukaji and Launchpad, online learning, Just2easy, August Machlekel and Shiv Ershin, Beor Shinu Jakardus, Ak Tagan and Kinyo Coed and Marshaw and Ye Steve, August Mariak and Shiv Tan Coed and Alig Inyelik, Kurdi, Mahoj Coed, Oberwala and Shin, August na PC bug different than Mogari Aflehi Misha. And well, na PC a dúsage me sic verbi. So, what can I choose? Lesson logan trailak a dúsage Virginia and Ari winwich nyart usage as J2 Blast Louis Nicky Tamo Bogohan. Is the in J2 Blast the ya rud a wahi misha the an usage or fad and blast Virginia easy da or Kemada Clehi Ivriacta August times tables blast, TT blast. Feki shiv on the pector voga and shot, pa coedan and tarangchak, pa she inta maltak the napashi, pa and coedan alig in yilig, August bunin chitin and salt as na pector August na biohana boga exla attagest. So marhudge the J2 blast, spell blaster on fosta. Nor dusage midgenarie, die sé marle weiner en drukker, ach die sé gofoil an usajak van an literary a sprage. On meja holme Hanafian, Credum gobble shoot bedrig ober, literary Gaeilge, occupation in a bontasja an war or fad on Arnia sogin mohim. Marjarm dusage Virginia TT blast, vi sé kinyo mar klehbug, agus fina pabli ag chakagasta, fina poasti sanomiak linikila, ladiniela, sarang, Fecin shiv the rocket bug aku, kinyo mar ras bug, agus vi siad ag fecal caja mar a vi geri law ag umbrage le pasialis arang, pasialis a skull, agus páistíala sa dóin rud a sppraag iad le bheith géirí níos fearr leis na tabla. Le blast a th cemadá, meascán de chéisteanna a bhíon agus bhí seo an mhaid mar ní amháin go raibh sé bunaithe. Tá síanta mhaid ag sppragadh páistí le bheith ag léam ó hapa go bhhain go topic eile agus bhí na torthaí sacu samhailte in áit má chuid cóid agus bhí na páistíala de feicil go dé mar a bhí siad a gul chun cin an raibh scóranna sacu ag gardú an raibh géirí níos fearr le mar sin de. Can cóiad an tarraingte mar dúirt mé leis na pictures na beáchanna éagsla, ionta sáthigad don na páistí agus deantar rangú fásta agus caithí sin commórtas agus amíocht mar agan sibh ag an bhainean seo. Léirí sé go dé mar a bhí géirí láfa thar an seach lá dearnach a revision, go dé mar tá géirí lá ó híomh an dóinde sa scoil agus sa rang go generalta, so rud a sppragiad go fíorhhaid caithimera agus wahí me se mar bhaintú range gur chuir sé go mbeidh le cumas na naltaí leis na tablaí agus tasú go bhfuil le céú táhachtach sa taisin mar bhaintúirí. Ag bogú ra Louis Nicky seo fásta J2 data agus wahí me se go seo an úsáideach gur fad. Ag tagann sin mar seo cinneal sin an nascbog ag an mhar an J2 data ícúnbog agus bíon físein agus planan na ceachta le fecha sna ranóga EC híon EC dá ag an mhar an sin. Leis an logan tréalacht an nuirí disrí medinne pictogram agus cartecha. So in sa pictogram hí san seo ag bun ar chlé, bhí réimsiad de hempleid ar fáil san na pictogram, so hapalad mar hampla fecinn siad samplaí bogan sin borthaí min bheithí patí agus urla. Fedriad a chur in aiger agus is fedriad a ahrú go ionta firsta mar a dearmaris ionta sáthige de fáistí. Ag bogú ra ar an tíomh gasan sin feici sibh cinneál cart níos sophisticúla agus arísteile ionta sáthige agus ionta firsta le húsáid. Láb seog gigateach a tá tarraingteach ar an Skyline agus an rud is fearr a lig trí bhean na Gaeilge. Ní roiarmsa an teola seo a thurasteach chun an cart a bhainú, bhí na focail an seo an cat madú éon nuair a roiní me se an topic patí agus tá sé ionta firsta an láb seolólas a thuirteteach sa raing. Firsta le múnlú don na páistí an dáile na úsáid an sunraí na ólas a bháilú agus a learú. Agus an dóis fearr le bheith fólam faoine ag gul sa chans leis agus ag fut mé hart leis go fíorneach. Ach an rud is fearr faúda na gróin teanga chóraach a lig in dhélig fásta. Ag bogú ra so bhí revision sin na cinneal na PC ebre a bhí fórsnach beidir de áthar ceama chéan agus do bhain na scoile ach wahí me se féinneáthar ceama dá bhí neart féidirthachtaí a bhí fíorhhaid. Feici sibh nuair a hen sibh isteach gotí áthar ceama dá ag an mhar an seo réan a difriúla is féidir le peice an ólas céadú síos an ólas a bháilú agus an ólas a learú. So mar hampla is féidir le tabla, p-chart, barachart, linograph nó blockgraph a úsáid. So tá réan a difriúla ar fáil an ólas a learú. Arís tá template ar fáil a tá firsta le hathrú le chur an aiger rud a chodíonn leis na páistí mar an amna bíon slí de deagar acu an tús chéim sin a ghlacu, so bíon template ré le húsáid acu sin. Is féidir ainmnathe na náisina a chur an aiger go hinnta firsta a ríist, so mar a ecinn sibh ag an mhar an seo rinne mé an masar gasta iver nó lín an altaí agus an rud nó an da atá siad ag ficu ach hís ar clé dahrí mé na haisna sin, lín pláistí agus da. Rud bog eile a haitsin lam rud siimplí go leorstótha ach nuair a bhí méid bháilú an ólas seo, nuair a chur mé isteach dearg, glas, goram, buí, corpra, oriste, dahrí an da go bhreach don graf rud a bhí an jazz. Cénach neanan sé mór an Jeffer is hoca let ag sin íonaí let híon ach bhí sé jazz gur aithinn sé na focail Gaeilge agus gur aithrí sé leis an marja. So is féidir ólas a bháilú is a hafaú a dabla agus le check bug siimplí is féidir an teolas a learú ar réimse dóanna. So mar dearm is féidir le tabla miniceachta a bheith agat agus an sin é learú an blockgraph nos féidir leat a couple cart éagsúil a úsáide gan an chéna, nos féidir leat an cuaig cin úsáide gan an chéna. Caiimera leis an fáil gasta ar léirithe éags le ólas mar seo. It's féidir córa mai a sppragu leis na pátí, maidir leis na dóine it's éfachtaí nó is silire an seolas a léirí. So bheith córa íontach an seo faoi céapús fórstíní ar chóir doing línagraf úsáid nó an bhfuil an fí cart an léiríonn sé an seolas ar gáid ní silire. Agus mar dearm maithim an bontáiste is mó le seo go bhfuil an lábseo gigateach seo go bhfuil an teanga próraach a lig inélig ní caihí na pláistí tantu ar an bhirla. So sin na bontáistí ba bhó a tháinig meise sa bhata. Ag bog ranis go dtí an scríú agus tá an go bhfuil na daine eile go Lord fa seo níos muile agus tá siad an sé gobar ar hex go Lord leis an Gaeilge agus hala mé bleisiú bogta rih an cruniú seo agus caihí mé go maithíonn an dearafach faoi maithíonn go mé sé an tarabhach don airne so bhíine. So nar hen tú isteach dtí scríú feici sibh ag an bar scríú pencil tartar cart spectrogram jói agus branse caihí mé níhuair mé an seans le hart ar achan le rud mar a dearm bhí muid gúsáid le an tréalach agus bhí muid gúsáid na PCFE ar fáil ag an am. So galtí ní soige te cum bhhaid ar féinteil agus ar scríú beag sé bhabal sin ansrú nar a hosíonn si ag fud mai leis an wagari de scríú ar is féidir template a reinine trá mar hapla agus tugann sé íhaide cumáil le bank áthar acha a bheith úsáideach an pí a scríbneachta a spreige. So cosú le tá an go bhfuil le heid de clicker agus rudí eile an muon sin a dheanan cineol an rud chéine ach maithíam sa le seo leis an teanga fróra a liginnélig gur cineol bontáiste breise a tageist. So agus caihí mé a taníon an cló géala lom fásta. Tá cinealathe éags le cló lábhscrífa géalach spríal ar nósach is féidir difriúil a feice sin an bank focail hí san seo réim siad a teamí an hana féin agus féidir le teamí de do hud chéan a thuiste tean sé le picture jazz fásta. Agus is féidir le pláistí máscan clóhúla dhéanú cumáil a bheith clical ar na focail so wank focail mar bhfuil siad cinnte an dáil lena litre. So tá mé cinnte go bhfuil coideagah clachtaí lena lehéid de clicker agus bagarí eile a dhéanaan an cineál rud chéana. Wahí mé go rú seo an jazz an cineál gré atá acu dar banim beoi bós gur féidir hachtaí maithe an seo mar intro don riú bheohan. So fecinn sibn sin ag an bhar tá cineál scanan gearthaige réon an dalta iwa agus tarningítear an pictar ar an fictar Ruúin an pláiste ar an cuatha móide an gearthóg eile a chur leis an bheohan, so do mar rud ag go rúise be gáil de ainmhíthe san artach ná le heidte sin a go pláiste pictar de bearbáin a charingtir sin agus an cuatha móide a bhrú an bearbáin a bhagu písabug anan agus tin tús mai le riú bheohan don pláiste sin. Rud eile tá an bontáisteach na tá bank mór íomhanna acu nó féidir cuairdeach sábailte Google a dhéanamh agus a rís ní gaiad den na daltaí an tú ar an bhirla an seo a dhéanamh feici sibh go dtí glad an tainnim in Gaeilge a thuisteach an bearbáin agus ben pláiste abal de neart íomhanna de bearbáin a eil go sábailte ar Google. Nó is féidir na íomhanna sacu híon a feiceú fásta. Ní ga a clicail ar níla agus é a haingteiste sa bheohan. Agus is féidir le daltaí gach rud a hail I má hud cód. Agus mar go míon muid inniu gúsáid Google Drive agus G Suite le tamilbaganús, bhí mé se grúise an tarbhach fásta go bhfuil nasc ige sin go bhfuil nasc ar an J2 Launchpad le Google Drive fásta. So carja tasúlum nach go me sé ag gáil rá gastan nó ag luirt bariachta fa seo, but mar dearm an dó is fearr le bheith fólam fa seo na ag gáil sa chance látíon. Bhí mé go rú seo an mai J2 right agus a rís eile feici sibh go bhfuil cineál cóiad an jazz sóthaige first le leanúint agus a rís teanga a lig in Gaeilge. Íonta cosú leis na rudaí atá na bláistí clachtaí leis hana féin cos le Microsoft Word agus Google Docs agus bei siad abal de PC mai ha scríbnachta a anú seo. Rud a hasin lomsa fa seo na gur féidir a riist tá listí focail an in dhéalaigh agus a merla ach mar gur Gaelscoil Virginia dus mu na focail Gaeilge ach is féidir listí sogatíon a chruthú agus a hamú agus a chur an agar. So aber grú tú gáil de hem ar lei agus grú tú pí a scríbnachta a spragus na fáistí. Janan tú de list a focail agus tagann sé a níos ag bon an lehanní na fáistí inta só echa Hokaladi a chur an or dabatra de mar ag garú sin codúil dóibh agus is féidir leis na páisiéis másascan bud de chlóúú agus cinneal clicail ar na focail le codú láfa pí a scríbnachta a dhéanana. So dus mar aquascur poiad an sáhiige golóir a rí si go mar agus ar dhéist an Skyland teanga a le in dhéalaigh agus hílmuid gurún na listí focail an ústeach agus a rééis is féidir de chodí an a chumé a afhrú a chur an agar go furta. Hard cinan méid a bhí seans agam cinneal arcar sa tam go stopú ag rent na Skyline agus osclúí mé cinneal seans díh le ceiste chum agus tású agam mé mé ábalta iad a raggart díh. That's féidir an scoil.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Kieran. That was really, I would say informative, but I didn't understand a word of it. But the presentation looked fantastic. So I'm going to hand over to Danny now, who is going to talk you through some of the Irish medium tools that we've got.
Okay, great. Thanks, Nikki. And I'm sorry I have to do this section in English. And thanks so much to Kieran for picking that up and doing that on our behalf. That was brilliant. I did see, I was trying to see what I could glean, and I could see from the slides that Kieran had shown you one of the things that I was probably going to show you, which was the Google search in Irish. So just checking, my screen coming through okay, Nikki?
Hello. I can't. You haven't shared your screen yet.
Just okay.
Yes, I can see your screen now.
Is it? Can you see a J2Launch now?
No, I can see your Skype now.
Oh no. Okay. Let's try again. Stop share. And sorry everyone. So this is where the professionalism comes to an end when Nikki's not presenting and it's me. But can you see J2Launch now, Nikki?
No, it's still your Skype.
Okay. Right, one more time. I'll try and get it right this time. Share screen. I see. Right. Okay, so it's that one. Right. So hopefully that's J2Launch now, is it?
Third time's a charm. Yep, all good.
That's okay, is it? Okay, and I've just realised I need to probably click share computer sound. That's on. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm going to have to use. I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to use Google Translate in order to get some Irish to show you some of the things I want to show you. So I think Kieran already showed you the Google search, but I'll just sort of do a live demo just to show you the idea. So if I say red rocket, and I can see the Irish there, and I'm just going to copy that. And I should just say my J2E is set to English. In the settings here, we can switch it into another language. You should find in your Irish medium schools that you're set by default into Gaeilge. So hopefully that's the default is set correctly for you. So I'm just going to go back into JIT tool, and I'm going to go into the paint package for a second and select the space background, and then up here I'm going to do a search. And I'm just going to paste the Irish for red rocket, and you can see that it's done under the covers. It's done a Google Translate and found the Google images, so that we can search in Irish and get the images. So that was one thing I was going to show you, which I guess you'd already seen. This next one, I know for a fact that no one will have seen, because we only literally put it in about 2 days ago, and we're really excited about it. And I'll just preface this actually by saying that we're really keen to work with all the Irish medium schools. We've been working for many years with Welsh schools in both Welsh and English. Sometimes it takes us a little time to make sure that that all languages are perfected. So we pride ourselves on working with the Welsh schools. If there's anything, when you're using the tools, if there's anything that doesn't seem quite right for your language, please do let us know, and we'll do our very best to improve it, to fix it up, to do what we can. And this change came around because a teacher from an Irish medium school emailed us about a week ago, just over a week ago, and she'd spotted two problems in JIT. One was that the fonts weren't all working correctly with the Irish characters, and we were able to fix that the same day. We got the development team straight onto it, and they fixed the fonts so that worked. And she also pointed out that the text-to-speech engine that we got in there, which worked in English, didn't work in Irish. And we had been speaking with a university, a Dublin university, about a couple of years ago, because they'd been developing a text-to-speech in Irish. We picked up that conversation with them again, and I'm thrilled to say we got it straight integrated into the tools. So hopefully this is a live demo. Hopefully this will work. If I just come up with a slightly longer phrase, I went to the park and I saw a butterfly. So, okay, so I'm just going to copy most of that text, but not the butterfly. I'm going to let's have the park scene. I'm going to paste in the text, and I'm just going to select the word banks here, and hopefully you'll see if I hover over the word banks, we've got the speech bubble.
Kipinia.
And I can select the words.
Felican.
Nikki, can you hear that word coming through? Could you just confirm you're hearing the text to speech? Lovely. Yeah. Okay. So once we've found the correct word, we can just click on it, and it'll put it into the document for us. And then we can, if I just click at the beginning of that text, you'll see when I click here. So it'll read back to us in Irish the text that's been written out. So that is brand new Irish text to speech, and I did have a very sneaky preview with Kieran just beforehand, and he said to me that it sounded really good, so I was absolutely thrilled about that. We are working on a similar theme. We are working on speech to text, which would be the ability for your students to speak and for the text to then arrive in the document. We're planning on putting that into the products probably in September in English, and we're talking to the same university in Dublin. They are developing an Irish language speech to text, and as soon as they've done that, we will integrate that into the tools as well. And I think I've just got one other thing that I'll just mention, and then I'll hand back to Nikki. How are we doing on time? Yeah, so doing okay. So we have a tool called J2Blast, and I saw that Kieran mentioned this in his presentation. With the Spell Blast, you can record your own spelling lists. So of course you could create Irish language spelling lists. But we did notice just the other day that the default spelling lists that we put into Spell Blast are English language, and we're just in the process of putting in some default Irish language spelling lists. They should be in the production within the next week or so. You should find that when you click on Spell Blast and go into the list of spelling words, that you'll have the Irish language ones there. Again, we're very happy to work with you. If you have better spelling lists for us, then please do talk to us, and we'll put those in. So we're really keen to work with you to make sure that that these tools are as good as they can possibly be for working in the Irish language. Okay, I think that's probably all I had. So I will. Well, I could just ask just before I hand back to Nikki. Are there any questions in particular about the bits that I've shown, or anything that might be particularly relevant for me just before I hand back to Nikki? If I don't get any questions in a second or two, I'll get Nikki to pick it up. And
I've had some good feedback. I think people are impressed by it in the chat.
Oh, lovely! That's I'm so pleased. It's really good. Yeah, great.
Brilliant.
Okay, well, I think Nikki, then I'll hand back to you, and you can pick it up and see. Yeah, so hopefully the presentation will get a lot more professional now. No pressure, Nikki.
Brilliant. Thank you for doing that, Danny. Okay, so that's it. We've covered our Irish text-to-speech, Irish spellings, word lists, and the Irish image library. So we do hope that you're as impressed as we are proud to show those off to you. So the rest of, I am going to sort of cut bits out of my presentation now just because of time's sake. But what I've done here is I've just had a quick look at your using ICT curriculum, which I think is probably, well, let's put it this way, it's far better than our computing curriculum here in England. I'm very impressed. As a previous teacher, I would much rather have taught within this curriculum than the computing curriculum. But what I've done here is I've mapped out your 5 E's and where our tools fit in with those 5 E's. So you can see a lot of our tools fit into various different sections of your using ICT curriculum. So they are very flexible in their use. They're very, very easy to use as a cross-curricular tool as well. Now, I was going to spend a bit of time doing a Key Stage 1 specific activity, but I think really Kieran's done a very good job in showcasing JIT. So JIT is our Just2easy infant toolkit, and it is geared towards foundation stage and Key Stage 1. There are elements of it that are still appropriate for Key Stage 2, so please have a look at those. In particular, I'm thinking the data and the branching database. Branching databases don't come into our curriculum here in England until the end of year 3, beginning of year 4, so very much in our Key Stage 2 section. So you might want to have a quick look at that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to talk you through our J2E5 and J2 PDF. So this is more of a sort of Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2 tool. That's not to say it can't be used lower down the school, but what I would do is I would create activities for my students to engage with, as opposed to it being a content creation for that age group. So it is a very, very flexible tool. So what I've done is I've taken the SIA using ICT tasks from their task library, which again, I think is absolutely brilliant. We are working with SIA to try and get some exemplar material put in there. So if you have anything that you would like to submit that you've made in Irish, then please let us know, and we would be more than happy to pop that. We are going to be creating a sharing library. So that will be almost like a repository for activities that you create. So there is that collaborative element to things. I've digressed slightly. So what I've done is I have linked to the Titanic Passengers, digital storytelling, publishing or presenting. This is level 3, 4 and 5. So just to give you an idea, the kind of things that you can create with your students. Now, obviously, I've done this in English, but with the text-to-speech and with the Irish built in, you could write all of this in Irish, of course. You could search for your images in Irish. So J2E5, if you haven't seen it, it's quite hard to describe. It's like a digital piece of paper. That's how we call it within the team. And it allows you to create whatever you want, be it a presentation. You can add elements into it as well. So Benji here has created this. He's added in his text title. He's added in this picture here, this map that he's searched for, and some shapes. He's researched information about the Titanic and copied and pasted it in. He's also added his images in. He has used the Titanic database. Now, we're probably not going to have enough time to go through that, but we will be looking at that. Shameless plug here. We will be looking at that in the Key Stage 2 webinar that's coming up 2 weeks on Monday. So please, if you want to see more about the data for Key Stage 2, please join us for that. So what Benji has done is he's used that database to create charts that he's then imported into J2E5 to strengthen his presentation. You can see here he's also sourced some information here and he's added in that hyperlink there. We've also had him embedding an animation that he made, and this was made in JIT Animate. So your children can create stop frame animations. They are hand drawn, and this can be embedded. He's also embedded a YouTube video, so you can do this as well. And this is what we're just going to have a very quick look at how we can create this. So this is a PDF document. Now, I haven't been as prepared as I normally am, so I'm going to see if I've already put my PDF. I have. So what I've done already is I have dragged in a PDF template. So if I was to open this now, you can see PDFs are brilliant, and traditionally that would have been what I would have had on my hard drive. I would have got into school in the morning and I would have spent 20 minutes at the printer waiting for 30 copies of this to print out. PDFs, unfortunately, if you're using them on a computer, are pretty static. You can't do anything without a PDF editor. So that's what we've created, and this was a real hit during the recent school closures because it allowed you to use templates that you might have already been using in school anyway and to make them fully editable. So I've added that into my file. So this is your storage area, and we can drag things in really quickly. So just to show you, this is a PDF. I can drag that into there, and that has added, let me just get rid of that search function there. And that has added straight away. We can share anything within J2E using the share function. So you can share that with your students directly. We can share it the whole school, teaching classes or users and other classes. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an activity for my students to complete. So I'm going to use J2PDF, which is here. Now J2PDF and J2E5 are built around the same engine. The only difference is J2PDF is designed to stitch a PDF into the background of a J2E5 file, which means that you can write over the top of it, you can drag items into the top of it, you can do whatever you want. Now I could, if I wanted to, drag that PDF straight onto here, so it doesn't have to be in my files. I can create this template without sort of much fuss. But because it's already in my files, I'm going to go and click on Open PDF. And there's my newspaper template. So you can see this links into my files now. So I could click on any of these PDF worksheets here. I'm going to click template and click add. And that's added that newspaper template. So you can see I can click anywhere and I can start typing. Of course, I could, start typing in Irish if I wanted to. Unfortunately, I'm not bilingual, so I can't. But what I'm going to do is, as a teacher, I'm just going to quickly tailor this to my students' needs. I'm going to give them some instructions on how and what I want them to do. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to be a little bit inclusive here. So I'm going to give them some audio instructions so they can just listen to what I'm expecting them to do. So this button up here is your multimedia button. So we've got things like create video, record a sound, take a picture, embed a QR code. I'm going to record sound. I'm just going to give them some very quick instructions. Hi class, I would really like you to create a newspaper article all about the sinking of the Titanic. There we go. Obviously, you'll probably add a lot more depth and detail into that, but we haven't got time. So now what I've got is a nice floating button for my audio instructions. It will keep floating until I click and choose where I want to lay it. So I'm going to just lay it there at the top so it's very obvious. Now I can do things like make sure auto starts. So as soon as they load the file, it will give those instructions straight away. They don't have to press them. I can loop it. I can change the volume if I want to. So I have lots of different things that I can do with that. I could add in a word list as well. So word lists are really great if you've got students maybe that struggle with their spelling. I'm thinking students maybe with dyslexia or that sort of thing. So we can add in word lists. Now, I'm not sure I have got word Titanic. I can't remember where I put the, here we go, sentence starters. So I pre-created these. You can copy these from wherever you want. These could be on the internet or a word list that you've got as a school word list, spelling lists. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab these sentence starters. So it doesn't, the word list doesn't have to be just individual words. It can be whole phrases. Okay, so I've opened up my word list. I'm going to create a new word list, even though I've already added this word list about 4 times by the looks of things. I'm going to have to label it again, word list newspaper. Okay, and anything that's is separated by a return key, we'll save that as a phrase. So, I mean, these could be whole paragraphs if you really wanted to. You know, I'm thinking about maybe students with SEND. If you want them to sort of put a sentence in the right order, you could put the different elements of the sentence and then they could just press them. So what they will get is they will get a nice box at the bottom. They can listen to any of these, and these will play fully in Irish as well if they're written in Irish, so we can use the text-to-speech.
Survivors reported that.
And what they'll be able to do is click anywhere and use these buttons and it will type for the students. Okay. Conscious of time, as always. So what I'm going to do, the only thing I need to do with that word list is I need to make sure it's shared. Now, the reason for this is you may well have students that need this word list and students that don't within the same group. So this allows us to really personalise student support. So what I can do is if I go to share and I go down to the share, I drop down menu, I could type a name if I know the name. So I'm going to use the drop down menu. I can share with the whole class. So that's my registration class. I can set up smaller teaching groups, and this is done through J2 dashboard. So, you know, I could have intervention groups, and maybe you've got your lower level, your literacy lower level intervention group, and you just want them to have that element of support. So you can, you can just share with those. You can just share with individual users. So I could share with Harry directly, and only Harry will get that word list attached to this particular document. And then all I need to do is save that. I'm going to say newspaper, just very quick, or new paper even. There we go, and save that. Now, I did show you earlier, but I'm just going to show you one more time. We can share within my file. So there's that newspaper activity that I've just created, separate from the PDF. So I could go and click share there. But what's nice about J2 PDF is I can share within the file itself. So I can click share. I can share that with my whole class. So Harry is in my class 1. And the 29 other pupils will get just this. Harry will get this and that, the word list at the bottom. So just to show you how Harry would log in. So Harry logs in. He goes to his shared files. He's got all of his different groups that he's part of, which can get a little confusing, but if he clicks list files, it will show him the most recent pieces of work coming in. There's that newspaper. He can listen to the instructions. Hi class, I would really like, I'm going to play the whole thing. It will open in edit mode, so in view mode. So if he wants to make any changes, he can click edit. He can type anywhere. So we could say, he can double click that text, make it bigger. He can change the font so that it looks more like a newspaper font from the 1900s. He can, it's always a bit fiddly at the moment. There we go, we can move that across. He can search for some pictures. So he can do a Google search. Again, this will work in Irish, so we can look for Titanic. He can drag these photos onto his page. He can resize them and reorientate them. He can pop that there. He can use his text-to-speech. If we're going to say it was discovered that. Okay. He can write his name. And there we go. So there's lots and lots of other things he can do. That's just to give you the basics. I'm very conscious of time. But just to show you the workflow, Harry would then save that. So what that would do is he would still have the template within his shared files area, but he has his copy will save automatically into the newspaper, into the My Files area, so you can see the newspaper there. You can see that almost the changes on that thumbnail. Now, because that is in his My Files, as a teacher, you always have access to your student files, and that is through pupil files here. There's also a button off the Launchpad here. You have access to all your classes. You can click class 1. We know Harry's in class 1. There's Harry. We can also search My Classes or list files. And there's that newspaper there. So we can look at that and we can sort of say to Harry, that was really good. We can give a bit of feedback in a learning conversation. Great work. We could record some audio. It's entirely up to you. So that is a whistle-stop tour about J2 PDF. Now, we haven't had chance to go through the tools in any sort of depth, really. What I will say is we do have a help tile on your Launchpad. Now, this is in English, I'm afraid, but there are lots and lots of articles around all of the tools that we have. So there's things like how do I change my site language, even though yours is done automatically. You know, how do I create teaching groups? How do I use Jit Turtle? So there are videos and there are articles. So please have a look at that if you want any help or direction. As I've said, shameless plug, we are doing more webinars. So please have a look at our website, just2easy.com/webinars/C2K. In terms of contacting us now, it is probably even more important for you guys to stay in touch with us. As we've said, we would be really, really grateful for any feedback, any information you can give us that would make our provision to you as Irish medium schools better. For example, if you've got word lists that you know that as a school you use, that you want embedded into J2E, you can forward those on to us. So any sort of those questions or suggestions, just email us at support@j2e.com and we're very, very receptive for anything like that. We also have our website with lots of information. Twitter, we have quite a big following. So if you are a Twitter school or you tweet as a teacher, please feel free to have a look at our page. If you are creating content with Just2easy, feel free to tag us. We'd love to retweet stuff that our schools are creating. And we're also on Facebook. And I've only gone 3 minutes over the time, which is quite impressive at the moment with my track record. Have we had any questions, or does anybody want to ask any questions? Is there anything that we can answer whilst we're here? Please feel free to unmute and ask me. I'll take that as a no. I'm more than happy to show, if anybody wants me to showcase anything that they have heard about and want to see, if you want me to spend 2 minutes showcasing anything. If not, you're more than welcome to go. Thank you for joining us.
I think I'll just reiterate a couple of things, Nikki, if that's okay. First of all, I've just put a link in the chat to the webinars. There's an introductory webinar there, and also or there will be very shortly an SEN specific webinar. Is there a third one there, Nikki? Or
it's a foundation stage.
Foundation stage. Thank you. Yes, I knew there was. Yeah.
And then key stage one will be up by the middle of next week.
Yes, and then there are also links to the upcoming Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 webinars, which will go through the tools in a bit more depth. So I would encourage you to sign up to those webinars and get some more details. And I also just reiterate again, please do keep talking to us. We're really keen to hear from you guys, and especially any thoughts as to how we can improve the tools, and any feedback, both good and bad. Yeah. It's all very quiet, Nikki.
I know. Thank you so much. That was really excellent, and I think our schools will be really, really delighted to use this and to get trying it all out properly in schools. So
great.
Gaeilge, thank you.
Great.
And we'll definitely share the information on the recording and where other schools who were maybe off this week can access the information too.
Great. That would be brilliant. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Gaeilge, thanks a million.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Thank you for joining us.